call this meeting of New Iberia City Council to order. We'll have the prayer and the pledge led by Councilman David Merrill.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilmember Natalie Robeck.
Yeah, Natalie's ill.
Councilmember Peggy Girat.
Here.
Councilmember Robert Swear. Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle.
Here.
Councilmember David Merrill.
Here.
Councilmember Raymond Lewis.
Present.
And Councilmember Calvin Bagley.
Here.
Mayor Curry, you have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask everyone to please silence their cell phones. And with the first agenda item is public comment. It is an opportunity for anyone from the audience to address the council concerning an agenda item. There's no discussion. It's simply your opportunity to express your concerns or give them your opinion concerning an agenda item. And we have one person that has asked to address the council. You'll have 3 minutes, and it is Mr. Kim Shepard, and it's concerning agenda item 7, which is the 2% cost of living increase for civil service employees from the year 2012-2013. And if you'd like to approach the podium, thank you, Mr. Shepard.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I stand before you as an employee rep for the Civil Service Board, and the employees that were employed during the fiscal year 2012-2013, I think they deserve the raise. They're dedicated employees, proven loyal. So I think the council should consider in giving them their due just. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shepard. At this time, we'll move on to agenda item 2, which is acceptance of the minutes of the April 7th, 2015 meeting as published on Thursday, April 16th, 2015.
Motion.
A motion by Mr. Merrill, second by Mr. Bagno. Is there any discussion? Any objection? No objection, motion carries. First person to address the council this evening is Mr. Armand Schwing with LWCC, and we'll have him introduce the gentleman and lady that he has with him this evening. And I think he's coming with good news.
Always does.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am coming with good news for the 12th year in a row. Appreciate you all having me and placing me on the agenda. I have with me tonight 2 representatives of LWCC. I have the marketing representative for this region, Tenzie Pricer. He is with LWCC, and he calls on my agency and sees about agents all throughout our region. I also have tonight, due to the size and scope of tonight's presentation with me, the president of LWCC, Ms. Kristen Wall. This is her first visit to this council meeting and her first time to present you guys with the check. I'll let her tell you how much it is, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if she doesn't want to give you the total of the amount of money that's been returned to you over the last 12 years, I'll be happy to do that because it's a big number and one I'm very proud of. So I'll turn it over to Kristen.
Thank you.
Mayor Curry, members of the council, thank you for letting us come here and address you for just a few brief moments. This is Tenzie Pricer right back here, and he comes over here quite often and works with Armand. So we do have very good news for you tonight. We came really to tell you thank you for your business. We do sincerely appreciate the business. It's such a nice thing to come to a town that's doing such a good job for your employees to keep them safe, return them home safely every night, It's also so nice to come to a place where you start it with a prayer and then our pledge. That's getting rare and rare, so thank you for doing that. Tonight we have a dividend for you. It is the largest ever that you've received. It's also the largest we've ever given out. This year the dividend for the city of New Iberia is $276,000 and some change. It's almost $277,000. And I will tell you that when you add all the dividends up from the prior years, that's just over $1.1 million. So congratulations to you. You've earned it. Again, you've earned it through your attention to safety for your workers. And also thank you for the loyalty. That does matter. I also wanted just to take a minute to tell you every insurance agent in the state can come to the LWCC to place business. But you truly have someone exceptional. They say that people are known by their reputations, and their reputations precede them. In some cases, that's a good thing. In some cases, that's not such a good thing. But in the case of Armand and his father before him, I would say that's an excellent thing. So not only is he known by Tenzi and his underwriter and the underwriting manager, all the underwriters in our entire organization know him, and it does matter because when he comes in, people believe him, they trust him, and they're ready to work with him. So I just want to congratulate you on that as well. So thank you, Armand. I'm going to give the check to Armand because I don't know exactly who to give it to. Sometimes I know that might go to the mayor.
I don't want it.
But again, thank you. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you were in the third grade, I didn't think you could give me a $277,000 check. Thank you. I taught Armand when he was in the third grade, and I said, I never thought he'd be coming to give me a $277,000 check. Thank you very much. We appreciate your assistance, and she's correct. Armand is a great agent for us. He's always on top of it, and he does a great job to service us. So we appreciate it. I also want to thank our department heads and our employees because, you know, you're the ones that have earned this money because you're safe on the job. You're very careful when you're working, and you're cognizant of the fact that you have to be safe in the environment that you're working in. So thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. The next agenda item, we have 4 proclamations. If you'll bear with me, Elmira and I and Madam Clerk are going to tag team on this because we have 4 to read. The first one is a proclamation for the American Cancer Society, and I think we were supposed to have Faith Borrell. Is Faith here? She's not here. Crystal DeMaye, okay, and Patty Rowe. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read it, and then I'll let you come up and give it to you, and if you have any comments to make. Whereas cancer will touch 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women during their lifetime, and this year alone, over 500,000 Americans are expected to die of cancer, which is more than 1,600 people per day. And whereas nationwide, more than 1.4 million people will be diagnosed with cancer this year, and an estimated 24,930 of those cases will be Louisiana residents. And whereas the American Cancer Society is the nationwide community-based voluntary health organization dedicated to eliminating cancer as a major health problem by preventing cancer, saving lives, and diminishing suffering from cancer through research, education, advocacy, and services. And whereas Relay for Life is the American Cancer Society's signature activity, raising awareness and funds for the fight against cancer and Heroes of Hope is this year's local slogan in the support of the national theme. And whereas on Friday, May 1st, 2015, teams of community members will take turns walking or running around a track for 12 hours during this unique fundraising event to symbolize that cancer never sleeps, and therefore we cannot stop fighting because there is hope. Now therefore I, Mayor Hilda Dagg Curry, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the City of New Iberia, do hereby proclaim the week of April 26th through May 2nd, 2015, as American Cancer Society Relay for Life in the City of New Iberia. In doing so, urge all community members to support the fundraising efforts of Relay for Life teams to join cancer survivors in the celebration of life and dedicate themselves to the fight against cancer by painting the town purple and attending the Relay for Life event on May 1st, 2015. And I'd like to go ahead and present this to both of you, and I don't know if you had any comments to make, but you certainly are welcome. Thank you both for being here. Oh, hold on to. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Mayor, good.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I am a cancer survivor. I have survived. It wasn't a fight. I really thank God for the cancer because it gave me time to redo my whole life. People have been so nice to me. And I want to say thank y'all for the job that y'all doing. And keep on doing it. Thank you,
Mr. Wright.
God bless.
Mr. Bagnum?
Where is the walk going to be?
It's going to be at Weeks Park in Lydia.
In Lydia.
Next
And it
Friday
starts
from
at
6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I, too, Ms. Chirac, am a 3.5-year cancer survivor. I was diagnosed at 35 years old, and I just want to stress the importance of your annual exams. It's never not a good idea. So, thank you.
Mr. Merrill?
Yeah, I want to say thank you all and the whole organization for what y'all do as well. My mother had breast cancer 25 years ago. She didn't survive, but she was a caregiver, nurse, took care of a lot of people, and at that time they didn't have the technology that they have out here now. She could have been possibly a survivor, but you know, I really like what y'all doing, and I stand behind any organization that's looking at trying to make things better for cancer survivors and cancer victims. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say too, I've been involved with Relay for Life with the American Cancer Society for 15 years. I am also a survivor. It's so important. My husband's a survivor, my mom's a breast cancer survivor. So we all work to try to pay it forward and make it better. And it does change your life. It
does,
changes
really.
how you see things.
It
So
really does.
we're all doing what we can, and we appreciate all the support and for you guys giving us the proclamation.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
The next proclamation is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. And I don't know if Kathleen.
She is
Oh,
in the
she
back.
is
Yep.
here. Okay, and Ms. Elledge is going to read this one for me.
Whereas Americans are victims of more than 26 million crimes each year. Crimes can touch the lives of anyone, regardless of their age, national origin, race, creed, religion, gender, sexual orientation, immigration, or economic status. Many victims face challenges in finding appropriate services, including victims with disabilities, young victims of color, deaf and hard of hearing victims, tribal victims, elder victims, victims with mental illness, immigrant victims, teen victims, victims with limited English proficiency, and others. The entire community has a role to play. Whereas involving survivors help victim service providers and criminal justice professionals understand the culture, values, and expectations of under and underserved victims who seek assistance and justice. Engaging victims' communities and learning from leaders about their unique needs helps service providers foster a supportive and culturally relevant atmosphere in which victims seek help and healing. Incorporating communities' existing experts and trusted sources of support into efforts to fully serve survivors will develop a criminal justice system response that is truly accessible and appropriate for all victims of crimes. Victims know best how to direct and manage their own lives, and true recovery from crime will incorporate a victim's cultural, religious, and economic, social, and personal interests. With the full weight of their community and victim service providers behind them, survivors will feel empowered to face their grief, loss, fear, anger, and shame without fear of judgment, and will feel understood and worthy of support. National Crime Victims' Rights Week, April 19th through the 25th, 2015, is an opportune time to commit to ensuring that all victims of crime, even those who are challenged to reach or serve, are often culturally and linguistically accessible and appropriate services in the aftermath of crime. The City of New Iberia is hereby dedicated to building partnerships with trusted sources of support, including community leaders, religious groups, schools, and other agencies, to better reach and serve all victims of crime, no matter their community. Now therefore, I, D. Hilda Curry, Mayor of the City of New Iberia, do proclaim the week of April 19th through the 25th as National Crime Victims' Rights Week.
Okay, and Ms. Catalina, thank you.
And I know you might want to say a few words. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. First of all, I'd just like to thank the mayor and the council for always allowing us to have a venue to have our rally. This year it's going to be Thursday night at the Steamboat Pavilion. We are changing the location due to sometimes rain. We'll be at 6 p.m. So we'll just come out. Our guest speaker this year will be State Representative Terry Landry, who has a lot of good messages out to give us. So I just want to invite everyone to come out at 6 at the Steamboat Pavilion. And thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out tonight. The next proclamation is Bike Month, and we have Signy Haygood. Is Signy here? I'm going to read it and then I'll give you a copy of it. Whereas the bicycle is an economical, healthy, convenient, and environmentally sound form of transportation and an excellent tool for recreation and enjoyment of New Iberia's scenic beauty. And whereas throughout the month of May, the residents of New Iberia and its visitors will experience the joys of bicycling through educational programs or by simply going out and going for a ride. Whereas promoting greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce collisions, injuries, and fatalities and improve safety for everyone on the road. Whereas promoting bicycle tourism year-round to attract more visitors to enjoy local restaurants, hotels, retail establishments, and cultural and scenic attractions. Whereas Mr. Jim Foray will lead cyclists on a private tour across New Iberia where cyclists will stop and learn about the history of certain trees in the surrounding area. And now, therefore, I, Mayor Hilda D. Curry, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the City of New Iberia, do hereby proclaim May 2015 as Bike Month in the City of New Iberia, and in doing so, urge all community members to join in this special observance of Tree Trails Bicycle Tour of Oaks in New Iberia on May 2nd from 8:30 until 12, sponsored by the Iberia Parish Library and Jim Foray. Thank you for being here. I don't know if you have any comments that you'd like to make.
I do. Well,
Okay, if you
I
approach
have
the
an
podium.
associate who.
Oh, okay, if you would introduce her, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
Miss Monique Coleman.
Dr. Monique Coleman.
Dr. Monique Coleman.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just want to thank you. So I am a veterinarian actually, and I was hit 2 years ago. If you notice, I was hit 2 years ago on my bicycle by an unlicensed, uninsured, unregistered vehicle. And before that, I worked at NIRC, so I have a very special spot in my heart for New Iberia. But I was in the hospital for a couple of months, and since then I haven't been able to practice veterinary medicine. But I've become very involved in bicycle advocacy because I was training for a triathlon, but there are so many people that need bicycles, and we need to bring more awareness, and we need to learn to use our streets more efficiently, or we're going to become a concrete jungle. So I want to thank you very much. This is a nationwide thing. Bike Month is nationwide, and I think it's so cool that New Iberia is proclaiming Bike Month. So thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. Mayor Pro Tem Dan Doyle
We
has a
were
question.
talking the other day in a conversation, what's the right way of riding the bike? With the traffic or against the traffic?
I'm glad you asked. So the way that I tell everybody, I write a newspaper column, the way to remember is that you should act like a vehicle and be treated as such. So bicycles should ride with traffic. When you run against traffic. But when you ride with traffic. You need to follow all traffic signals. And when you're being passed, there's a 3-foot law, which I don't like, but you need to, if you're passing a bicycle, you need to pass by crossing the center lane. And that's how we all stay safe. You see a bicycle, pretend like they're a motorcycle, pretend like they're another vehicle. And when you're on a bicycle, you should act like that.
So
No
it's
running stop
opposite
signs.
of running.
Opposite of running, correct.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I like a comment.
Mr. Rack?
I would like to see us have more bicycle paths in the city of New Iberia for safe riding.
We have a grant that we've applied for that we're
Yes.
hoping to receive in the fall.
That would be nice.
That will be,
Yeah.
part of it is to put bicycle paths
Yeah, I
in
went to
certain
that.
areas.
That's so great. I actually volunteer with the MPO too, which has just taken over this area. So if there's any way you guys can maybe get in touch with me, because I can help with any grants and get together any bicycle paths, I would really love to do that.
Great, thank you so
I want to
much.
say Baton Rouge have a bicycle path all over, and it's so cute. They have a bicycle painted in the street where you
Yes.
have to cross. That's so nice.
I would love
I
to
would like
see
to
that.
see us like that, really, man.
I would love to help with that.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. I appreciate both of you taking the time to come here this evening. Thank you. The next proclamation is Fair Housing Month, and I'm going to have Madam Clerk read this one for us.
Whereas April marks the anniversary of the passage of the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which sought to eliminate discrimination in housing opportunities and to affirmatively further housing choices for all Americans. And whereas the ongoing struggle for dignity and housing opportunity for all is not the exclusive providence of the federal government, and whereas vigorous local efforts to combat discrimination can be as effective, if not more so, than the federal efforts, and whereas illegal barriers to equal opportunity in housing, no matter how subtle, diminishes the right of all. Now therefore be it resolved that in the pursuit of the shared goal and responsibility of providing equal housing opportunities for all men and women, the Board of Trustees of the City of New Iberia does hereby join in the national celebration by proclaiming the month of April as Fair Housing Month, and encourage all agencies, institutions, and individuals, public and private, in the City of New Iberia to abide by the letter and the spirit of the Fair Housing Law.
Thank you. All right, and I don't think there's anyone here from
No,
the
we just
Housing
have to send
Authority.
it.
We'll send it to them. The next agenda item is Agenda Item 5, and it's an appointment. Mr. Jimmy Landry is currently serving as our Iberia Parish Levy board member from the City of New Iberia, and at this time, like to reappoint him. There's been quite a bit of studying and schooling involved with this particular appointment, and I think that it's in our best interest to keep him on that board. He's also very involved with the city with, flood management and so forth, so I think it's important that we keep him involved.
I'll move.
Motion by Mr. Begnaud.
Second.
Second by Mr. Merrill. Is there any discussion? Please vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations, Jimmy. The next agenda item is a resolution, Madam Clerk.
A resolution to consider and adopt the 2015 millage rates.
Do we have a motion? Motion by Mr. Rack,
Second.
second by Mr. Begnaud. Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Dawn?
Do I ask you or next Kimberly?
You can ask me.
I don't know what we're talking
and,
about.
We'll see.
Well, I read in the paper that the millage for the street and sidewalks went up from 2.89 to 3.45.
I can explain that.
Okay.
When we had an election last year, and it's every 10 years, and what happened was, we had rolled our millages back over the years, and we had never rolled forward. So originally, the millage was 3.45 when we adopted it 10 years ago, and we had rolled back to 2.89. So the millage is going to just be 3.45, which is 0.56 higher than what we were collecting, but we're just going back to the original millage rate.
Do you know when it was rolled back to 2.89?
Well, we did it
Over the
periodically
years.
over the years.
We never
You know,
rolled
over the
forward.
years, whenever there was a reassessment of, whenever there was a reassessment, we never rolled forward. We always rolled back.
But
So
I just
that's,
was wondering how many years ago it was. If it was 10 years?
well, we might have rolled more than once. I don't know, Kimberly, can you answer that question? I don't have the
Okay.
information in front of me.
Because we rolled forward a millage already like last year,
just
I
did.
believe, and that was for,
But in the past, we've.
no, I understand, but what was that for?
Parks and Recreation, maybe, was that?
Was the first one.
Was the
street
first one.
Sidewalks and alleys were last year.
But we had an election. We had an election for Parks and Recreation, and we did the same.
Just a renewal.
The renewal,
Right,
but it
right.
was the same principle. We had rolled back, so when we had the election, the original millage was put on the ballot. And we're collecting what we were collecting 10 years ago.
And the difference from the 2.89 to the 3.45 you mentioned
0.56.
is how much was it per 100,000? I didn't bring. Yeah, I understand, but
Okay.
if
You
a
want-
if a
Miss-
value of a
if
house
she's
is
got a
100,000,
question.
that's what I need. Thank
It's
you.
$5.60.
I'm in favor of it. I just needed to answer some concerns that people called. It's very
Per
minimal.
100,000?
Yes.
$5.60 more per
No,
100,000.
it's full worth it. But I was just wanted to get that information because when I looked at it, I saw that was one that we did not roll forward. And I didn't know how often it happened.
Well, every 4 years,
4
we have a
years.
reassessment.
Okay, that's what I was told. Every
And
4
that's-
years.
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, any further questions, please, Mr. Rack?
I know when they talk about tax and they talk about raise, we sort of back up. But if you ride around and look at our city, we need a lot of work in this city to keep it moving forward. And I'm in favor of moving Newberry forward. It's time.
It is. Thank you, Mr. Rack.
Mr. Lewis just stepped out, so I don't know if we want to vote.
We have a quorum.
We can ask
We have a
them.
quorum. You can vote your machines.
You want to say something?
We have a, I'm sorry?
Mr. Lewis is not.
Can we
Oh,
vote?
Here we go.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, we vote in our machines on the millage. Motion carries unanimously. The next agenda item is a resolution awarding bids for cleaning and maintenance supplies.
Resolution awarding bid for cleaning and maintenance supplies.
So moved.
You might want-
I have to confess, this is the first year in what, I think 11 years. I haven't put the whole Oxy, the whole 9 yards.
All of it on there. But the information's all in your
Yes.
packets. And there was only one item that we did not get information, was on concrete. And we're gonna have to rebid it. It's out right now because, so, everything else. Okay, do you have questions? Okay, please vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously. The next agenda item is a resolution from the, it's not our resolution, it's a resolution from the Civil Service Board requesting that the council revisit and amend the budget to include the 2% cost of living increase that was not paid to the employees in the 2012-2013 fiscal year. I would also like to ask that you include all of the employees that were here during that time period, department heads and anybody who's unclassified. There are 14 other individuals that would be included in this increase. 9 department heads, and 5 unclassified. Mr.
Can
Doyle?
we speak? Or we
Sure,
put on-
yes.
Um,
No, I
They're
guess
gonna
we need
They're
a,
gonna have to give us a motion.
Motion.
to decide
we need a,
on it.
we need a motion to accept the resolution.
Accept the resolution.
Okay.
Um,
By Mr. Merrill?
By Mr. Merrill, Somebody want to second it?
I'll second.
Mr. Bagnell. Okay, Mr. Dahl, you have the floor.
Kimberly, I guess I can address her because she sent some information.
Sure.
to
Ms. Segura?
me. You sent some information to us, and it was about the cost of the 2% for the civil service, department heads, and other. That does not include the 14 that the mayor is speaking about now?
No, that is everyone.
That's everybody.
That's counting
That is
the 14,
everyone. Yes,
it's
sir.
everyone. And I was looking, I was not here, part of the council in 2012 and 13 when they did not get the 2%. But it looks like our fund balance back then was more than it was now. Well, just by what I was given from her about undedicated funds. But my problem is not the 2%. If you look at it, and every time we come to this discussion, they always give us paperwork about in 2009, you were not here, and they did a survey with all the departments of where people in the area are getting paid. And they made some adjustments. And most of the adjustments was not at the lower end. Even though some adjustments were made, they were made 10 cents, 12 cents, 15 cents an hour, versus on the upper end, it's much higher. So I think we need to look at it a different way, because I believe the 2% that we give every year is not justice to the employees. Because if you're making $10 an hour and you get 2% versus $30 an hour and you get 2%, that's a way difference, and that's my struggle, Mayor. I believe the employees need the 2% raise, but I think we need to change and look at a way where they can get more than the 2%. Just like I think I got some information from Kim about the health insurance, that some of the employees is only, they pay $30 a month, and we pay the difference of, I don't know if it's $600 something dollars. But you have some employees that pay like $280, and we pay like $1,400 a month towards their family. I believe those employees are not fairly being weighed, because the same amount they're getting paid an hour, they're getting more benefits on the other end. That's my struggle, Mayor, because I think the 2% we give every year does not increase their take-home pay enough to make their life better. And I think budget, is it next week, or next month? We're doing budget, 6 months?
We're going to do a budget meeting next month.
I really think we need to sit down and see what could be done and look at, Mayor, where we can adjust some of these things, because it looks like the ones on a lower pay scale are really not moving ahead. And I don't think it's right. And if they're not taking all the benefits that the city offers, they're not getting just their payment. And I have owning a business 47 years, we kind of do it that way, try to make everyone fair. But I know in government's a little different, but I think we need a way where some of these low-end paying salaries get more money.
Well,
I mean, Mayor, it's just, y'all keep sending this to us about the high end, but the low end people is not much increase.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, we did, and I wish Bonnie is here, we did a study in 2008. Bonnie came to me and told me that she felt it was time for us to do a evaluation of all of the civil service employees, job descriptions and their salaries. And so I said, let's also include the department heads and unclassified. We had a consultant come in. We didn't do this. We had a consultant come in, Mike Sands, who works with civil service. And these studies are based on comparative pay in other areas. If you do, you have to do a study of the entire scale. You could probably explain it to them better than I can, Bonnie, but there has to be a certain difference step. If you want to explain it, because I don't deal with civil service.
No, I understand that, Bonnie. I mean,
it's just not as simple as what you're saying.
Well, I know.
And it's always been, we don't have merit raises, so it's across the board raise where everybody gets 2%, 3%, 4%, whatever it is, because we don't have merit raises. We have it's just based on a certain percentage, whatever is determined that year. It can be more than 2%, and I was looking back in some old budget books. In fact, the last year of the past administration, in 2004, they were given a little bit over 2%. I don't remember, 2.11 or so,
2.6.
2.3. I don't remember what it was. But it can be more, but you know.
But I understand, Mayor, I was there when we gave raises to employees and unclassified didn't in the past administration. And we did sometimes give more than 2%. I'm just looking at the numbers and looking at, you know, most of the numbers for the employees, they still kind of the minimum. The upper people more into the middle or maximum.
I think you're incorrect, and Bonnie can address that. We had some employees that got as much as 30% increases. Bonnie, do you want to explain just a little bit? I hate to put you on the spot, but it wasn't just the department heads or the upper level employees. It was across the board.
I understand that. I really understand. I don't think this is a time, because normally at budget meetings.
Well, we will, but I just think the council needs to know that it was not just one sector that was given. It was the entire city.
I understand, but I don't think the 2% is making life any better for employees in the city.
I mean, I wish we could give them 10%, but we just haven't had the money
and it's
in
not
our budget.
the $35,000 that we're talking about to give it back. Prior, when I was not on this council, there's not a time I've been on the council for 12 years, and I always supported it, if not more than that. So that's not the issue. You know, the issue is we need to do something and can't continue the same path of only the 2%. If we got to look at benefits, well, maybe we have to cut into the benefits and give them more salaries. We got to do something, Mayor, budget. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. It's not the 35,000 that we're going back into, because I have no problem doing this. I'm telling you, I'm going to take a stand, because I think the past council should have did it. They could have found 35,000, I think, to give them the 2%. So I'm not the bad guy. I want the employees to know that. I'm trying to make it better for them, Mayor. But and I went through the different salaries that, and I appreciate Kimberly and y'all giving it to me from where y'all did the study. But I spent late hours looking and where the people are. They're not always in the middle where I think they should be. So I understand your different classifications. I understand how we have to pay it. But that's not making them bring more money home. And this 2% won't. I'm in favor of it. I'm totally in favor of it. But I'm questioning about how we're doing it. And I think at budget, you know, we can't. I think this should be done when we do our budget, not just at whim during the year. It has to be done at the 6 months or at the year when we do our budget. I don't think 4 months in our budget we should decide to give a 2% raise.
Well, this is just because it was from the prior years.
But I understand. But I just think it would be clearer and better for us at a budget meeting to do it. Now, I'm in support of it. But I think,
and if you want, you know, I mean, we would have to have a salary study again if you want to look at.
No, we got the study done. Y'all did the study. It doesn't change.
Well,
but
it does change. Numbers change.
But if you look at where we are, the minimum, the middle, and the maximum, I went through almost every employee at night to see where everybody was. So I'm trying to do my homework, and I want the employees to understand. I think they should be getting paid more. But we might have to, when we talk about insurance, you know, right now, I think with the information Kimberly gave, we paying almost $60,000 a month for health insurance for the employees. We paying another $60,000 a month almost for the dependents. Not the employees, just their dependents.
Mr. Dahl, that's part of their
That's
salary.
part of their benefit
I understand, but
if you divide what they pay, what the city pays for the full family or in full, that's like $8 an hour more they're getting.
But what happened, Calvin?
So you're trying to take that away?
If this person is making $10 an hour and we paying his
All his
independent
family.
insurance, okay,
That's
and we
$8
paying
an hour.
$264 a month for them, $465.
$279.
No, we're not. It's more than that.
He pays $279. We
Hey,
pay
no, this is family.
$1436.
Where's all this money coming from?
Wait.
$1436. We've been paying it since
We've
you,
been-
Robert, when you started
Robert,
on the council.
your
you started
insurance
with
was
that.
paid too when you were.
Yeah, yours is still being
Wait,
paid.
I want to go back.
come
Let
on,
me
let's
just
get
go
some
back
order
with
now.
this. Just 1 minute. Wait.
Yes.
Let's get some order here. What I want,
Get back to where we at.
you know, I looked at some of the other municipalities when Mr. Dahl asked for this, and oftentimes y'all want to know what the parish is doing. The parish pays a percentage. They pay 90.5% of the employees' health insurance, whether they're single, you know, employee and spouse, whatever coverage they have, they pay 90.5%. I don't know how, this is how the figures were being paid when we took office. We increased it a little bit when we increased the employees' cost a little, not much, when the insurance premiums went up. We were not charging the employees anything for employee only. They were not paying anything, and so we started charging just maybe a couple of years ago, $30 per employee, and we went up, I don't know, maybe $30 or $40 on the other, you know, the other portions, that people that had dependents. So I think that health insurance is very important, and I think it's an important benefit for our employees. But y'all are right, this is probably something we need to discuss at a budget meeting. I'm sorry, Mr. Swear's been having his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to ask Mr. Leroy. Mr. Leroy, how many sweepers we have for the city right now?
We have two.
They sweep around the clock or what? Every day I get calls, every day. There's not a day I don't get calls on sweepers, you know, and, you know, people asking where the sweepers are.
Okay, wait, just a minute. We're talking about the.
Yes, ma'am, but I'm talking about money, Mary.
We're talking about money. And Mr. Swear, I have a proposal that I'm gonna be bringing to you in
I know the
next
employees
month.
need their raises and all that too, Mayor, you know, to make their living in that, but, you know, people are getting laid off right now with jobs, you know. They just announced, Schlumberger just announced another 11,000 they're gonna lay off. Halliburton announced this morning they're gonna lay off some more, you know. So, you know, right now if you have a job, you're lucky, you know, so. But we need to return the service back to the people.
Mr. Rack?
Yeah, I don't think we could afford to lay anybody else.
We can't lay anyone off, and if we don't pay our employees, we won't have anybody to provide the service.
Where they gonna go, man?
Mr. Rack?
Mr. Robert, you agree?
That's cool.
Yeah. You know, I was for this, listening to Mr. Dahl explain it. The little people that really need, I'm not calling y'all little, but low salary, is not getting any effect from the 2%. I understand what you say, we need to bring that 2% up a little higher so that the low wage paying would get more. Because if you get 2% raise, you might not feel it, but those with the big salary will feel it. So what we want to do is, and I'm understanding him here, I didn't discuss, that he wants to do a study among us and see what we can do to bring y'all salary up, more percent in the raise, right, for the little people. Am I right?
Mhm.
And I'm for that. I came here to vote for it, but I'm for what he said. Let's not make a mistake. Let's try to treat our people right, because some people salary, and when it come before me, it's a shame. I understand what he's saying. Anybody making under $10, $12 an hour, you can't make it. You can't. I don't know how you could. Because I leveled out a salary of one of my little granddaughters making $7-something an hour. She couldn't pay for her car note. I have to help her. So think about a family member. Family member. We're getting deep now. We are the leaders of this city, and we need to treat our people salary-wise, the little ones, better than what we don't. Because I don't like the salary that I see coming across my desk. I really don't. And I'm for doing a study, trying to bring everybody up. Where you could afford your family and not be able to get us another job. Nothing under $10, $12 an hour. I would say nothing. Nothing. If we got the money, we need to do it. I'm serious.
Mayor, can I ask Bonnie something?
Sure, Bonnie?
On these classifications, we have a study that was done in the mayor, I'm sure it cost some money.
Right.
So we got figures that we can go by. But some of these salaries, and everyone can admit that they are too low. Can you adjust some classifications without affecting other ones?
There's a possibility, I think that can be done.
I mean,
And
that's my
I don't-
concern, because you know, and I was trying to make a point earlier, and we were saying $10 an hour. I'm not saying that, I'm just, because it's a round number.
Yeah.
But I made a point, if this guy's making, let's say $10 an hour, and we pay his insurance, we paying $572 a month, he's paying $30. That's correct. That's what's, it's right here. But it's the same guy's making $10 an hour, someone else next to him, and he's got his family, we paying $1,436 a month.
I'm following what
Okay,
you're
and he's
saying.
paying $279. by this.
Right.
I feel this guy's getting a better salary, even though it's not in his paycheck, but he's getting a service and he's getting a benefit. That he is really getting more than one that doesn't need the family. That's just the nature. But I know in private business it's done differently, and I think we need to look at that again. And I don't think we need to get a study. As a mayor, they did one and you haven't. We all can get it. But I think some of these positions that's on the lower end need to be looked at. Because it's 2% when someone's making $8 an hour. Really? Honestly.
And I understand what you're saying, and that I think it should be looked at during budget time, for which you're talking about. But what is being brought before y'all tonight is a 2% that was due to the employees at the time in that fiscal year because of that rule that we have that they should get no less than 2% in, you know, every fiscal year of the cost of living general increase, which they didn't get, which the board, you know, did vote to suspend that until the city could go ahead and pay it later. And that's all that we're asking for right now.
I understand, but we talking about.
I didn't want to confuse the two because they are
But
they're
it's the pride
different.
board that was not part of. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because I think they should have stood up and got the money and gave it to him, Mayor. But I'm in support of this.
I'm just
You
going
know?
to tell you this, Dan. A contractual agreement that's made by a board prior to you being on this board is still honored. And, you know, this was a decision that was made at a time when we were struggling financially. Things are much better now, and I would just ask that you consider giving them this 2%. Okay, I don't know whose hand was up first. Mr. Lewis.
Mayor, when this first came up, I took a pretty hardline approach on it. And again, Mr. Begnaud said he worked for the city part-time. I worked full-time when I was employed with Park and Recreation. So I know what it is and understand what it is. Now, before us, and I'm kind of like Mr. Dahl, I wasn't here. I would not have given at least the 2% to the civil service employees. But Bonnie, you cleared something up, because though the department heads do a great job, I'm here to consider what was due to the civil service employees. I don't want to muddy it up with department heads and others. I don't want to muddy it up, and I hope you department heads appreciate what I'm saying. I do not want to muddy it up. Civil Service Board, the mayor approached them, asked them to suspend from the increase, and they did. I was a hardliner, but reminded by a friend of mine who a simple phone call said, Shuby, the employees are owed that. The employees are owed that. I took a hardline approach, but I had to look. $24,000, I'm willing to consider. But any other thing, that's what, I was not asked to do that by the Civil Service Board. So I don't need another meeting. Maybe some things are for the upcoming budget, but I'm willing to act right now, tonight, on the civil service, though I did not go and ask the board. I did not go and ask the board not to, because I wouldn't have. We just had to find, because the low people, the people on the bottom totem pole, I understand. But I'm willing to act tonight on only civil service employees. And if we go into a budget meeting and want to look at department heads and increasing next month, we can surely look at that.
that a motion?
Substitute motion? or do
I
you
will,
wait?
I will,
wait.
this is a resolution, I'm gonna have to defer to our legal.
I'm gonna get you, Peggy, just 1 minute. He's deferring to legal. The motion would be, he's making a motion, I'm assuming, to give the 2% to the civil service employees.
Well, I'm looking at the resolution, that's what we were just discussing. That may be the way it's worded right now in their resolution. This is coming from the Civil Service Employees Board, and they're asking that their employees be given a raise. I think you would have to amend it to bring in non-civil, that's the way I originally read it. So I think that's the way this
So
resolution.
they'd have to amend it to include the other 9
Yeah,
employees.
exactly.
14, the other 14,
The unclassified.
the unclassified.
So if we vote on it as is,
If you vote on the resolution as is, it would just be for the civil.
Right, but they can't amend it at this meeting and include
But
the
they can
other
amend it and
14.
amend the other 14.
Right, okay. Mr. Rack, I'm sorry.
You answer my question.
Okay, so I guess, I'm assuming Mr. Lewis is making the motion for the civil service
Mayor,
employees.
I'm gonna make that motion that we give the 2% to the civil service employees only.
Do we have a second?
Can I?
Mr. Dahl?
So Scott, the resolution you saying is,
Well, it says owed to employees, but it's from the Civil Service Board, and they're
Yeah.
asking on behalf of people that represent. So I'm assuming that they're asking for the Civil Service Board.
That's why my motion would be, respectfully, for civil service employees only. And it's good to see some of our department heads back there shaking their heads.
Excuse me.
I'm
Mr.
not
I won't
Dahl?
get you on
clear.
nobody.
Okay, the
so
resolution
I ain't
is
gonna call
saying
names.
that we revisited the budget to amend it, right?
Yeah.
So we are just voting on a resolution, then we're gonna have to come back and vote on the budget later, correct?
We're voting, right, and we'll
Okay.
have to do a
Okay.
budget amendment.
Okay,
If y'all
cool.
vote,
Great, okay.
if you vote to
I
do
believe
it,
that would
we'll
have to be by an ordinance.
we'll have to do a budget
Okay.
amendment.
That's
Correct.
good.
It would be at the next meeting.
Okay, we're now voting.
This
to,
is for just the civil
civil
service
ser- to
employees.
give the civil service people a raise now, and when you come back
2%.
for the budget, we'll amend it
Well, nobody-
to give them a.
This is just for civil service, they're not saying about anything else. If you want to.
No, I'm saying today, it's just for the.
Right,
civil
but if
service.
you would like,
So that-
if you would like, what he's saying is, if you would like to include the other 14 employees that are being left out, you can amend, that you can put this motion on the floor, then you can do a substitute motion and amend it to include all the unclassified also, that were here at that time, for that year, that were here at that time.
Or you can just amend the
What we
budget.
give now, we gotta give it back in November again.
Yeah.
It carries over to November again.
It
so
stays
costs
in
you
the
another
salaries.
$24,000 in November. That's $48,000
Okay.
you gotta come up with.
You
Okay,
have a motion?
No,
So,
that's a motion. Okay, do we
I'll
have a
second.
second? We have a second.
so we're voting to go with the substitute or
Wait, no,
no,
that's, the motion on the floor is
Substitute.
just for civil service employees.
No, substitute, it's,
just, it's the same.
all right.
No, wait, I don't know.
Yes, same thing.
It's the same. We're taking up just the civil service employees.
Unless somebody wants to make the substitute motion to include the
No one has
others.
made a substitute.
Huh?
No one has made a
I
substitute.
wanna make a substitute motion.
Mr. Merrill's
include
gonna
all the
make the
14.
substitute motion to include the other 14 employees that were not included, that are unclassified, that were here at the time that this 2% was not given. Do we have a second to the substitute motion?
I'll second it to discuss it,
A second for
but I
the
think we've
sub,
already discussed it, but we need to vote on that.
We need to
So you
vote
have
on
to
the
vote on the
substitute.
Substitute motion now.
First.
okay, the
That's to
substitute
give-
motion
That's to
is
give the
to,
department heads the
Which would
2%
be all
also, all employees that
all
were there at
city
that time.
employees.
All
Not just the
the-
department heads, but the other,
right, it's
Okay.
14 more
There's
people that
other-
we're
yeah, the
talking
other people
about.
in there
right
too.
now,
Okay?
I feel if I vote for it like that, I'm leaving the employee that we talk about with the little salary, again, not, I told her what they make in an hour. That's a shame. But what they making, it's just hard to come and give the department head the same raise that they getting. They still pushing them down. You see, when you discuss things, you find out more, the in between. I'm forgiving them a cost of living raise. I'm forgiving them more than what the 2% is. When are they gonna be brought up to a standard where they're gonna make a decent living? I know the department head making a decent living. I know that, but what kind of raise they gonna get on each check? Because the big raise get more. They're gonna get more. Oh, y'all got me about to cry.
Can I answer
Well,
the
I just
question?
want to make it clear that there are 14 people that are not going to get the increase, and we have over 148 employees. So 14 out of the 148 will not get the increase.
Mayor,
Mr. Dahl?
can, if we vote on a resolution, and could you give us a list of those 14 employees?
I have it right here. Jane Bro, Elmire Elledge, Brian Gotro, Grubbs, Charles Grubbs, Laura Labiche, Jimmy Landry, Leroy Landry, Tony Miguez, Vince Palumbo, Kimberly Segura, Cynthia Toby, and Sandra Upton. That's the 14. And I want to remind y'all, which you probably don't remember, that in 2014, we gave the 2% CPI increase to all of the civil service employees, and the unclassified did not get it in 2014 either. There was 2 years that they did not get their 2% CPI. Mr. Lewis?
Mayor, I remember that, but, you know, in these economic times, and department heads do pretty good, because one year when we also gave the increase, the 4%, they also got that. I remember that too. But let's get down to this business. I'm not voting to include the other 14. I said what I'm gonna do, what I'd like to do. So with that said, I call for the question. Let's vote on
Okay,
Mr.
the
Merrill's
substitute motion is on the floor right now. I want to make sure you know what you're voting for. If you vote yes, that means you are voting for everyone who was here on 2013 and 2014 that did not get the 2% to get it. This is everyone. A yes is for all of the employees, including the 14. You'll need to vote. Who didn't vote? Peggy. Peggy.
Peggy's the only one.
Peggy the only one.
I voted no and it went green.
Come on, can you clear it and we can?
I pressed the red
Sometimes
one.
you press it and
It doesn't matter, it needs 4 votes.
Still ain't gonna pass.
it's tied.
Clear it.
No, it's 3-3. It's
No,
tied.
I voted red.
Yeah,
I want to vote on the
that's right.
resolution that's on the floor, not what we, not the
Clear it
substitute.
and
Now
vote, because I seen him press the red.
Okay.
Press it again.
Goes back to the original.
No,
Wait, now we're doing.
Wait a minute. Let's do it again because Mr. Dahl said he didn't vote correctly.
Clear it.
No, I did vote correctly, just,
Well,
I saw him press the red.
all right. A yes vote right now
this is a revote on the
on the
last
one we just did. A yes vote is for all of the employees that did not receive the 2% that year to get their 2%.
All the civil service employees?
No. Plus the 14. The 14. She's gonna vote no.
I won't
That's on the amendment.
It's not a tie.
No, it fails.
All right. So now we go
Which
to
we
the
need.
original.
now we voting on a
Now,
resolution.
back to the original motion.
Now back to the original motion to give the civil service employees the 2% that they've missed. Motion carries. Ms. Jirac, yes. Mr. Swear, no. Mr. Doyle, Mr. Merrill, Mr. Lewis, and Mr. Bagno, yes. I just want to say that I'm really sorry to the department heads and to those other employees that are not civil service employees, that you have gone 2 years without getting that 2% CPI. I appreciate the work that you do. I think that you've done a good job. And it's just an unfortunate situation. The next agenda item is a budget amendment. Madam Clerk?
Request to amend $700 from line item council travel for council member uniforms, 2 shirts and monograms. Councilman Lewis.
Motion.
A second.
Is there any discussion? Please vote your machines.
I got a question.
Sure.
Is that $700 totally for, or just for one councilman?
I would assume he must be for everybody that he's wanting to get shirts.
Says
Who's it for?
council members.
Council
Okay.
Council members.
No, members.
Members' uniforms. All right.
Okay, it says councilman member.
Yeah, it's for,
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I'd like to make a comment on that, because Mr. Lewis and I did discuss this.
I know they're gonna give for
We
shirts.
went to a, we went
Okay.
to a seminar just recently. Mr. Lewis and I were there, and there were many people there that were city councilmen, mayors, and things that had shirts with their name on, like Mr. Lewis does. So I think what he's trying to do is see if we would like shirts like that. He'd want to take some of the travel budget that we're not using, and maybe just get us each a shirt if we'd want a shirt or two. I got one my first year in here, and I haven't gotten anything since then, but I mean, that's just what he's looking for.
Wow.
So,
I got
I've
a
worn
comment.
my shirt to the convention
Mhm.
many times, but, do we need this right now? Is
you
it
don't want a
necessary?
shirt, Mr. Rack?
Huh?
You can, you don't want a shirt, you can.
I'm not going to the convention and I'll yield to let somebody else. I don't travel anymore because of my health. So you could take the 2 shirts out for me, you know, and let y'all have it. That's what I'm saying. I'll vote for y'all to get it, but I don't want any shirt. Yeah, and y'all use it. I'm not going to. I got another shirt. You know, I'm being frank. I've been here. I'm gonna
So
get
you
about
got
12 shirts.
Okay, do y'all wanna vote your
Mayor,
machines on that?
I want to comment. I'm gonna
Dahl?
vote for it. I'm gonna buy my own shirts. I bought already in the past my own shirts, and I will continue to do that. But I think as a council member, to represent the city, I go to a lot of things and people are there and want to know who you represent. I think it's a great idea.
Yes.
I'm not asking for the money. I'm gonna pay my own as I did the last 2 years, but I think the council members do deserve some shirt to represent the city that they
need to
serve
wear
for.
'em.
Okay, please
Thank you.
vote your machines. Motion carries unanimously. The next agenda item is the street program. You have a list in your packet, and there's my list.
Oh, yeah, I have a list at home, too.
This is the revised list, and in the list was included Walton Street that y'all had requested. A portion of Walton Street. The streets that, last time when we spoke, the streets that y'all did agree to were Bradley Lane, Daspit Road, Johnson Alley,
Daspit Road.
Silver Street.
That's what we talked about, that had to be on there, Mayor, I'm sorry? That's what-
Y'all
Well, a
agreed
couple
to.
of them.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Striping of
Yeah.
these 3 stripings, because those are really liability issues. So we have 2 million, and I told you to come back and
Mayor,
decision.
didn't Mr. Merrill, which ones, Mr. Merrill said to take off his district? I don't
Mr.
have.
Merrill-
Bryan Street and Bronze.
wait, you said
Bronze?
take off
Bronze
what?
and Bryan Street. Take
Bryan
those
and
off.
Bronze, okay.
And that's Silver Street and Bradley Lane, plus the striping on Lewis Street,
Bryan.
Jefferson Terrace.
And then you got 185,000 from Daspit.
Right, Ms. Segura, the 185 was not included in here, that we're gonna request back from the parish, correct? Okay.
And I would like for the people to understand that this on the asphalt street.
Right,
I have
only
concrete
asphalt.
street in my district, so don't think I'm not doing the work.
Mayor, we're discussing our streets to try to sell it to everybody else, or is this the list that we're gonna?
This is
approve?
this is the list what we have to go by, because these are the streets that have
Okay.
been evaluated, that we paid all the engineering
Okay.
on, but we just need to pare it down to 2 million. And
Oh, I see what you're saying. Ooh.
so, I mean, you might, I mean, Mr.
Okay.
Bagno, I don't know if you have
Well,
some,
Andrews,
I know for
Andrews
sure,
Street, I got
Andrews,
several
we've gotten
phone calls
tons of
recently,
calls.
and that's something we'd eventually have to discuss, and I guess we need to go with the engineers, if there's a way to widen that street a little bit. It's been having more traffic now since the school is there, they're using it more, bus traffic is there, and it's tearing it up. It's a small one-block area, but, that one block we need to
You gotta
really
calculate it
repair.
and-
So, I'd really like to see this one stay on the list for sure.
Okay, so
What other
Andrews,
streets?
Is that,
They own, Cypress.
do you have a, yeah, if you have the calculator, will you keep, maybe you could calculate as they go and we can see where we are? Do you have the list in front of you?
I think Dotrieve is that little one block.
Yeah, that's the two houses.
That's just two houses, but if we could just patch that a little bit, I don't
Well-
know, you know.
We have to add Mr. Swears, what's 44,000?
Mr., y'all want that Walton? It
Yes,
is
ma'am.
58,000.
Yeah, but I thought it came back with a different one, that's what it was?
It's 58,368.
So we need to cut
Yeah.
500,000, 600,000?
Million, no,
Ms. Segura,
No,
I'm gonna get you to calculate, I'll tell you where.
no,
Huh?
don't
five,
y'all have 2 Silver Street in
a
there?
half.
They are
No,
different.
One.
One.
They're one off of Hopkins.
You doing Silver?
I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
let me tell Ms. Segura and she can calculate. Ms. Segura, we have Andrews, just check them and then I'll tell you, you can calculate. Bradley Lane,
Bradley Lane.
Daspit, Johnson Alley,
That's too close.
Silver Street, Walton Street, and the 3 stripings at the bottom. If you could just calculate and tell us where we are.
And mine is what, 188?
And what?
Mine is 188?
Oh, and you can, 185. And we
185.
need to deduct out, we can deduct out the
From
portion
Natalie.
for Natalie.
Natalie, deduct that from that.
That's the street that the parish gave us some money to fix.
What you doing? Who's Julia Street?
That's good.
Who's Julia Street? Julia?
We need Julia.
Me.
So,
Yeah, that's,
so we putting Julia? Who's that district?
Yeah,
You do, Julia?
oh, yeah.
Julia's really bad. Okay.
And, my other one is really bad.
Would you include Julia?
Calvin, you taking Dotrieve on?
Uh,
We can maybe
hold off on Dotrieve.
You wanna hold off on Dotrieve?
For now.
Okay.
I hate to do that to the little lady back there, but.
Yeah.
But how many
Okay.
streets, how
Pratt.
many,
Pratt.
how
I know.
big is that, how long is that street?
Oh, it's
not
just
that-
tiny, but
It's
those-
bad.
the trucks, the waste
Yeah.
trucks going in, the garbage trucks.
They
just-
busting it up.
Busting it up. It's
Fine
bad.
and
Maybe we can get with Mr. Andrews and see if they can do
Huh?
something.
No, Texas Street needs to be done.
Texas is
Oh,
really
man,
bad.
I'm catching flack on that one.
Y'all wanna add Texas in? Texas is really bad.
Yeah, that needs to stay.
Not
If we can.
Pine, huh? You take
Texas.
Pine out?
I don't know, what
Well-
about Pine?
Pine is not high traffic.
Huh?
Pines.
There's no more street?
There's no street, it's just,
I kinda went through one block of it, it's like, oof. I just,
Let me throw, Mayor 20 Alpin Road, because I was trying to get that done, through, drainage, but I have a
Not able
legal
to.
opinion that said that it was dedicated.
let's calculate where we are, just to kinda get an idea. So for,
No.
okay,
Mayor,
and
what-
let me make sure I have all the right streets. We had Andrews, Bradley Lane, Daspit, Johnson Alley, Julia, Silver, Texas, Walton, then the 3 stripings. Okay, the 3 stripings, and then did she add back in the 185 for the parish?
What about index, Mayor? You know what you said?
I think up to, from Henry to the
Oh,
approach.
yeah, that needs to be done.
I think so too. You bring it up, because if I say it, they could say no.
Who's in index?
That's,
And that's the one we tried to get,
Natalie
the-
now.
Natalie.
we tried to get the state to do that. It's
While they-
bad.
while- when they were doing the
It's
bridge.
just
Well,
from-
it's 'cause the bridge.
It's from Henry Street to, we should do it from Henry to the approach.
I would like
because
I would
of-
like that. I never had a street on it.
Okay.
Natalie already got some.
Index, could you add index?
Huh?
In that street is asphalt?
Yes.
yes.
Huh?
No, I'm just,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this 20 off and that they, in there. Yeah, it's still in there,
You
but,
ain't gonna be able to do that if we add in.
You're not doing me.
oh, yeah, sure.
Me? Okay.
No, you ain't gonna.
He doesn't want me?
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is, yeah. 20 off is 243.
Yeah.
And you know what, who has azalea? That's,
That's mine.
Man, stop adding. Let the man right here.
Pine Azalea Drive, Everett, did you want that one?
Where we at, Miss,
Where are we with,
all right, 20 off, and
wait.
If you subtract the portion of the parish is gonna pay the 185 on Basford, it's $1,599,000.
And that's with how many streets?
yeah, you had index included,
And
correct?
Index is in there too?
Yeah,
And 20 off it?
Index is in there?
yeah. 1,599,000.
Oh, let's look at,
20 off and roll. Let's look at that right now.
Is everybody in agreement for
20
20
off and
orphan?
roll.
I'm in agreement with
Okay,
20.
can you add
All
20
right.
orphan in?
It's bad.
Add 20 orphan.
Ben needed that done.
Yeah, it's
So
needed.
we only
And
two.
that's a heavy traffic road, travel.
The only one that's not in there is me.
That's right there, bud.
Pine.
Yeah.
You know, on that
The
asphalt,
flood, yeah.
I had to call
how many inches they
That's the only
putting
one
on the
gotta
road?
add.
call my dad for money.
Where
I'm calling somebody at the dentist's office.
Where are we now?
And I had them come out the same day and fill that holes up.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say we over.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you subtract the parish is 185, it comes out to a total of $1,658,000.
1,658,000.
You do Pine.
So could we add Pine? They want to add Pine. That's 136,905.
That's in the contract.
Hang on a minute. So what we had, Pine.
Yeah, 136. It says he is.
Pine, no, that's like a 3-block area. Three,
Pine is on the
it's
stock
three.
house, Dan.
It's.
You been on it?
No,
it
I
goes-
said
it-
Pine.
it goes-
It's-
yeah,
No,
that's-
Pine's in
Gravel.
Oh,
It's like a
yeah.
Yeah,
gravel.
but it's like.
Okay,
3
where
blocks,
are
4
we?
blocks long.
After the parish's contribution, it's $1,979,000.
Okay,
We
can
better stop.
I think
Can we do me?
A million, wait, 1,979,000? Can I,
Can we do
let me
Macon
call them back one more time, just to make sure we have everything. Mink was 105. We could do it as an alternate.
Make,
You could do it as an alternate,
Yeah,
Mink.
but we don't
make,
have,
Think it's
we don't.
Anything that's not, anything that we don't include will be an alternate, because if something happens, the bids come in lower.
Yeah.
yeah.
How would you-
Make-
Okay, let me go back,
call
if
them
you
out,
don't
call
mind.
them out?
Do you, please, if y'all don't
Okay.
mind, I'll call them out again and just make sure I have it right, and then we're
Okay.
gonna vote on it. I have Andrews, would you check also with your, what you
Calculator.
calculated, Kimberly? Andrews Street, Bradley Lane, Daspit Road, Indes Street, Johnson Alley, Julia Street, Pine Street, Silver Street, Texas Street, 20 Arpent Road, Walton Street, and the 3 stripings.
Okay, so Cypress
Make
isn't
is
on
a,
there.
And you
Cypress
want
is not
Mink,
on there.
you want Mink as a, alternate?
Just put
and
them all, you only got 3.
Cypress is not on there.
Cypress isn't on there.
Mink
No.
and Cypress as alternates?
Fine.
Is that good?
That's fine.
Mink and Cypress as alternates. Okay, you wanna double check the calculations just to be sure? Okay, and then we'll vote on it. Y'all did a good job, thank you.
God, that's all of them. Please don't be over.
Count me off.
And there is a lot of traffic on this street. What is it, 1,979,000? Okay, I'd ask a motion to accept the streets that I just named. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Begno, second by Mr. Merrill.
Can
Yes, yes, sir.
I add something, Kim?
Yes.
Kim, I was looking at the bonds, and you said these $2 million has been issued already, correct? And in the bond payments, in the back of the book, what, Is it a 2005 street bond? Where is it?
Not the 2005.
2005?
No, it's not the
Oh.
2005 issue that we only have about $18,000 left over on that 2005 issue. The two issues that the money is left over on is, one was I think in 2009 and one was in 2010. Let's see.
2010
Okay.
bond issue, the one we have a balance of 7.1 million?
That is, yes.
That's one of them?
That's one of them. That was the $8 million
And the other
issue
one
for
is the
streets.
one we have
Two
three?
below.
Two, huh?
The one that's two below that 8 million. There's one that, another issue that was done for 4 million. That one's for streets as well.
So the
Those
one
are
that has 3.6 million balance?
Yes.
It's that one?
Mm-hmm.
And they got another one?
No, just those, well, that 2005 issue has about $18,000 left over. That's-
So you projected that we'd be paying about 4 million a year, in our bonds on the schedule for 2015?
4 million in total, okay.
Right, in total, but that doesn't include the money that we use or getting from the DEQ for sewer district that we already pulled some money for that 6 million, right?
Well, the principal and interest payments are included in that 4 million. I just didn't carry forward the balance, because the balance is, is revolving. As we draw money, it increases.
But that's paid mostly by the sewer user fee?
It's all.
Okay,
all by sewer
but these
user.
other ones that we are adding right now, these 2 millions, that our payment won't change?
No, the payment
So-
is not gonna change.
So
It's
this won't
fixed
cost the
when
city
you
no
issue.
more money than we've been
No,
paying?
the debt
Okay.
service is gonna stay the same.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, any more questions? If y'all would please vote your machines on that list. Great, I will get with the engineers tomorrow and see when we can start bidding out. Get ready to bid out. Okay, yes, sir.
On the streets, you know how they're gonna go about it? They're gonna go with the least amount first, or how they gonna, you know how they're gonna do it?
I think what they're gonna do is wherever the work is, wherever Mr.
They trying to avoid the sewer work. They're gonna bid it all out at one time, and then they'll start working wherever there will not be any sewer work to do. No streets are gonna be torn up.
Can we get Vince to hurry up with the sewer work?
He's working on it.
Vince, I got a question for Vince.
Mr. Palumbo?
Mr. Palumbo, 20 Upper Road, are we done with that?
The contractor is finishing up the subsurface work as we speak, and I was out there today, and he's pretty much done. He still has to do some patching on the surface, so the street program can come behind, but yeah, for all practical purposes, he's finishing. He just
About a
has
couple
to,
of weeks and be done.
I'm gonna push him to do that. He still has another part of that project to do, and I'm gonna try to get him to do those road repairs, before he moves to that next project, so. Yeah, I mean, we talked to the mayor and thought now was a good time to put this project out. You still have a few months to go before you actually start construction, so by then we should be out of y'all's way.
And I wanna thank y'all, you and Mr. Landry, for coming out, looking at that problem out there and taking care of it for the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, announcement, does anybody else have anything? Announcements, the next city council meeting will be Tuesday, May 5th, and the art walk is Saturday, May 2nd, is Downtown Spring Art Walk from 4 until 7, sponsored by New Iberia Main Street Program and Downtown Business Association. It'll take place along both sides of Main Street from the Shadows on the Teche to Railroad Avenue and East St. Peter, including A&E Art Gallery, Nyla, N-I-L-A, Nyla Gallery, and the Hinton House. So hopefully everyone will participate, and that's it. I ask for a motion to adjourn.